Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Doruk, and today I'll be going over my 19th League game, 19th Hobbit League game. And for this game, my opponent is Foe. I hope I'm pronouncing their name correctly. And yeah, this is the first time I'm playing against Foe. And we decided to play. We decided to give 2 action tokens for free people and roll for sides. I rolled higher, so I'm playing as Shadow. I have been playing as free people quite a lot in the past 4 games. I think it was I played as free people, so it's a nice change of pace. And yeah, this was quite an interesting game. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So I start with Heal Trolls and Morgul Wound, which are good cards. You like starting with Morgul Wound, just get the full 2 corruption damage on the Fellowship if you can. I mean, Heal Trolls is also really nice, but it's really not clear where you really want to put this Heal Trolls into. Like maybe Dol Guldur can use it. Maybe some guys in that's going towards the dual line can use it. It's certainly very flexible. I would not consider it immediately playable, even though it's technically is. You just need to bring Sauron to war. But yeah, I like very decent cards. And for this game, my opponent was kind enough also to share their password, and I can see their hands. I will try not to look at their hands as much. I don't want that to influence the commentary or what you would actually do. But they start with Power of Tom Bombadil and Ents. Ents is not super nice as the first character card, but Power of Tom Bombadil is certainly playable, and it's a muster. It's certainly a good card to be able to defend the Shire, so it's at least playable, right? So yeah. So for the first turn, I allocate 0 eyes, and I roll 2 more, which is, fine. I get my 2 musters, I have a bunch of movements, and I have a Palantir. So yeah, it's not a bad roll. My opponent, though, gets this roll, which is a single movement, which is not the best, but they have a playable card, so this Palantir is not completely useless, and they have muster, so they can like immediately put the elves to war, for example, if they choose to do that. So they start by passing. I get Isengard to war. Fine. My opponent plays Tom Bombadil, draws into Path of the Roses. It's really not the strategy card you want to draw into. Oh well. I get Saruman. I get Saruman at this stage in the game because there's no way that the free people can like get a Will of the West somehow, and then also kill Gandalf, so it's safe to get Saruman at this point. My opponent moves, they're safe, and I start moving armies. I think at this point it would be maybe wise to draw a card before moving armies, because I was holding on to the Palantir in case Fellowship gets revealed when they move. But maybe now I should draw, because it's unlikely. I don't expect my opponent to move against 2 eyes twice, like with the ring. Like, I don't expect my opponent to use a ring to move the second time against 2 eyes. I think that would be a little too risky. So they move units around, which is totally fair. I think this move into Old Forest Road is now even more valuable now that you mustered the north ones with the Power of Tom Bombadil. Certainly makes sense. And I'm going towards Daggerlad, angling the dual line. And my opponent musters down the elves, so it's a very standard turn. And with the final, I draw. And I draw into Corsairs, which is obviously the strongest card in the Shadow deck. So that's nice to see, for sure. So turn 2. I get Grand on Shadows Gather. They're excellent cards. They're still a bit early, I want to say, for these cards. I still don't have Witch King. I still need at least 2 musters to be able to get the Witch King. And Shadows Gather is an excellent reinforcement card. It's hard to use this effectively in the early stages of the game. Like usually you want to maybe put this army in Mornon into Daggerlad, so you can Shadows Gather this Barad-dûr into Daggerlad to expedite going up the dew line. But as the in the current board state, there's not really many armies that I can use Shadows Gather on effectively. So okay cards. It's looking tough. My opponent gets Help Unlooked For and Great Company. Not the cards you want to see technically. Anyway, I allocate 1 eye, roll 3 more, and get no more musters. So, certainly a problem, because this turn I really wanted to be able to attack some elves, but as is I can't. But luckily for me, my opponent doesn't get any musters. Like they get a single muster and a muster token. So they can technically only muster the elves to war now and start mustering at the beginning of next turn. But they also get a bunch of movement. But I have 4 eyes, so it's like, okay, I rolled a bunch of eyes, but they also rolled a lot of movement, so it's risky for my opponent to just move a bunch of times. Like, provided that, like, they're obviously trying to kill Gandalf at this point, so maybe it's not the end of the world, and they might want to get Gandalf with this will. So it's clearly not the craziest. Like, they don't mind this roll at all, but at least they can't really muster the elves and start mustering down, especially on a turn where I'm very much slowed down. So anyway, they start by moving. They obviously want to get Gandalf. I hit them. They get a 3. Perfect, right? Like, perfectly efficient. Yeah, this was one of the best things that could have happened. And I think I should draw a card. I really don't have any playable cards at this stage. My opponent will get Gandalf, will do something, probably muster down the elves. And with this character, it's really uncertain what they're going to do. Maybe they separate. Maybe like it's interesting. If they move again, I might play Morgul Wound. But as is, I either play Heal Trolls on, like, what, maybe Daggerlad, or maybe 1 in Daggerlad and 1 in Dol Guldur, just to, like, kind of distribute the love a little bit. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I think I just draw a card. Yeah, I draw a strategy card. Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe it just, like, overcrowds my hand so much. I was basically, like, trying to find maybe Orcs Multiplying again, Shadows, maybe Pits, like a little bit more, a card with a little bit more oomph, I guess. Because if I play Heal Trolls right now, I'm basically saying, okay, I have this Palantir that I'm going to play Morgul Wound on. And if they don't move, I don't have playable, so I will end up drawing anyway. So it's a question of, like, do you wait for 3 people to, like, move again against 4 eyes a second time? Or do you just bite the bullet and draw and see? Because if I get, like, any other recruitment card, I'd much rather play that, right? So anyway, I choose to draw. They get Gandalf, fair. I start moving out. I just can't afford to wait that much. And they do move. And I don't know. This feels like a little bit of a mistake. Like, do you really want to move against 4 eyes a second time and this is your Moria move? Certainly risky. And just I don't know what like I said, I really don't know what you could do with this character dice. You really don't have any playable cards as well. Like, do you separate a companion? You're in two movement two. Maybe you like separate like Gimli here into the Shire, or like you separate. You were at two, so you maybe go four into Alt four. Like, it's really uncertain what you do. Genuinely. Maybe you pre-separate Strider now that you have Gandalf. You'd want to do something with your will. It's certainly interesting, but like, yeah, this is the tough situation of rolling a little bit too many characters against this many eyes. Because when I do catch you and reveal you for a 2 reveal into Moria, that... Oh my god. Okay, sorry about that. So, what was I saying? Yes. So when you move against 4 eyes for the second time, and I catch you and I get a 2 RI, like, I mean, it wasn't unlikely that I reveal you, right? I was more likely to reveal you. So like, I guess you're like your odds are better than 50% to be revealed into Moria. Yeah, because it would be like, what, 9 out of 15. That's like, what, a 60% if you're hit. But there's a chance that you're not all, you wouldn't get hit anyway. So yeah, certainly like maybe less than 50%. I don't know the odds of getting caught on against 4 eyes with 2 movements. Let me see if I have it. Against 4 eyes, second movement is an 80% chance of getting caught. And so 80% times 80%, quick maths, 80% times, there are 9 reveal tiles out of 15. So that's a 48% chance of being revealed into Moria, which is just basically a glorified coin toss. So are you going to risk 2 tiles 50% of the time? Feels rough, especially Strider's now guide, and you don't want to run up the corruption marker as much, but oh well. So, but like I said, it's not really unclear. Like, it's really unclear what you would want to do with the C dice. So, do you separate preemptively? That already effectively does a corruption damage to yourself. So, yeah. Anyway, so my opponent takes the 2 reveal, and it's another eye. You know, at least the extra tile is an eye. Well, that's good for my opponent because obviously that's just 0 damage, and that's like keeps the other tiles that are good against Gollum in the pool. So a stroke of luck for my opponent. It could have been a lot worse, because that is in fact a 3 out of 14 to draw an eye there. You know, nice. Yeah, my opponent acknowledges it. They say nice. I do have Morgul Wound though, so at least I'm able to like hurt the Fellowship a little bit. So every other movement now is going to be much dangerous. Now you have to start taking randoms, and like Strider can die, and etc. etc. My opponent hides the first opportunity to get. I move armies, just prepare the siege Lorien. Like, if they left that hybrid dice to muster the elves and maybe muster the elves again, the elves will be at war and you could just start mustering in Lorien. But because they didn't do that, now, like, that's why I feel like that second movement was a bit of a mistake. But I genuinely don't know what you want to do. You'd want to do with that character dice. Like maybe separate a Hobbit into Buckland, so if you draw Fear Fire foes, or like something else so that you can maybe have a Book of Mazarbel play in case you draw that. You know, it just feels like meh. Like you were at 2 movement at that time. So you can't even reach Lorien with like Legolas. It's just a very awkward die to play at that stage. Anyway, uh, they get they get Riders of Theoden and Elven Cloaks. Like if you had Elven Cloaks, I would definitely tell you to play Elven Cloaks, but alas. Okay, so I draw 2 more cards. I overdraw Phlox and Swarm of Bats. And yeah, I think I just throw away Phlox at this point. Yep. Makes sense. I allocate 2i here. And the reason is just because I want to maximize my rerolls on top of the Fellowship. And in a scenario where I just allocate a single eye and just roll no more, I'm basically wasting my movement, wasting my rerolls. So I didn't want to waste my rerolls. Plus Strider's Guide, they're in Moria. I just wanted to maximize my chances of catching them. So just allocate 2, roll 1 more. Okay, you know, now I'm rolling 5 dice. But they got no movement this time. Yeah, they get no movement. I think, I mean, you always want to move at least once. So the question becomes, will they ring move? And if so, yeah, I might still catch them, but like, look at all the monsters. Like the elves can certainly like put up a fight at this point. So they immediately use a ring to move, which I think is correct. Maybe. Because I might have again a tile drawing card. I would have certainly played it. And at the last turn, I could not have played it because I didn't have the action dice to be able to do it. So this 1C card might be something nasty. So moving certainly is correct, especially you know you're gonna move. So I think this is correct. The alternative is that you're just gonna risk a card like that 1C card being a tile drawing card. And the fact that you remove the eye from the pool from the stronghold tile now, like, just makes sure that like that whatever tile drawing card I have will most likely hit. Plus, I could also have Balrog. I completely forgot, but yeah. I think certainly moving is correct. And they are safe, right? Perfect for the free people. So I start by mustering down Sauron. Now that they obviously did not muster the elves, I just get the tempo back on attacking the strongholds. But they do an interesting thing. They move down the north instead of mustering down the elves. And my plan at this point, like, was also like I was thinking about how do I get the Witch King. And because they also muster down the north, I can just get the Witch King by attacking Old Forest Road. So with my 3 attacks, right? I have 1, 2, 3 attacks. I can attack. I was thinking about attacking Dale, putting the north to war, and maybe use a ring to get the Witch King. You know, it felt like it's smart thing to do, but right now I can just 1, 2, 3 attack Old Forest Road and get the Witch King. But that would certainly allow them to start mustering in Dale next turn. So it's quite an interesting situation on what to do as Shadow. What I ended up deciding to do, I'm just gonna still attack Dale, take away their mustering point, and get the Witch King anyway. So I move my armies out. They play Elven Rope, sure. I move again. I prepare Corsairs because I do have Corsairs. I really want to sneakily prepare this as much as I can. They muster the elves. I think this is a very smart move because unless I attack here into Dale now, they can muster the elves with a token and start mustering like either stronghold. So what would you do here? Like, okay, they muster down the elves. Like, as Shadow, what do you do? Because my plan was, like I said, attack Dale and get the Witch King with the ring. Because I really don't have any playable cards right now. I mean, I could certainly play Hill Trolls, but I don't want to. Or alternatively, I can attack into Woodland, like I can attack into Old Forest Road and like play Hill Trolls with the Palantir and maybe let them muster into Dale, but besiege both Elven Strongholds at the same time. Right? What as is, I just wanted to take away their northern mustering point and get the Witch King. And next turn, yes, I would allow them to muster maybe two elites into these Elven strongholds. Right? Because if I attack into Dale, they do something, then they muster the elves with the token. I will use a ring. Yeah, I will use a ring to maybe besiege Lorien, and then they will have only a single mustering point that they can muster twice in Woodland Realm, if that happens. So they get two elven elite musters, right? If I go attack Dale. But if I don't attack Dale, they just get couple musters in Dale. So I'm curious which one is better. Like, what do you think? Probably like the reason the Dale is good because if you muster in Dale, you also end up defending Erebor. And the Elven, the northern force pool is very like big. They might even threaten retaking Woodland Realm. But like elves, yeah, you can muster two elves into Woodland Realm, sure. But like now you have only two left for Círdan. You don't have any enough for maybe Thranduil or Celeborn. Like you're running a little. You start to run low quickly on the Elven strongholds, Elven elites. So I ended up going towards Dale. Again, I don't know if this is correct. But yeah, maybe I should have attacked Old Forest Road instead and just waited. Or like maybe attack into Old Forest Road to wait what they do and but yeah, like I'm either gonna attack Dale or I'm still threatening Woodland Realm, so I guess that really doesn't matter. And I play Swarm of Bats. I really don't want this elite an extra unit to get into Woodland Realm because then if you muster twice in there, then it becomes a massive headache. And yeah, I just Swarm of Bats, a Sudden Strike, whatever. I get no hits, which is unfortunate. Also, there's this risk, right? Into attacking Dale. Yeah, you take away their mustering point, but they also survive the attack. I think it's like a 50% chance of whether you get the hit or not with 7 dice. Let me check. Where was it? Yeah, with 7. Wait. Where is it? Yeah, City with 7 dice. It's actually 72% chance that you get a hit. You get 1 or more hits. That you roll a 6. 72% chance. Is that correct? Let's use any dice to do that, actually. That also can do it. So I'm rolling 7 dice. like technically 6, like technically 5 plus 2, but I only need 1 hit, so I can just like go ahead and calculate. Yeah, about like 73%, 72%. Yeah, I think my math was correct. Yeah, I mean, it feels like a lot more than what you actually would have to roll a 6, a single 6. But yeah, it makes sense. Like every roll, every dice is like 1/6 of a hit, so you'd expect to get a hit. But yeah, so I miss. Luckily for my opponent, I guess. Not crazy lucky, but lucky. So they get to retreat into Woodland Realm, and that's the situation I wanted to avoid. But anyway, so with the token, they bring the elves to war, and now I have a big question. Do I get the Witch King, or do I just besiege one of the Elven strongholds? And I choose to besiege Lorien. If Lorien gets mustered up a bunch of times, it becomes extremely difficult to take. Yes. The alternative is that yes, if Woodland Realm gets buffed too much, I just kind of not get Erebor maybe, or I can still go after Erebor still in this position. Just let them muster in Woodland Realm as much as they want. I'm just gonna, my 2 points can come from Erebor and Dale, right? I don't have to attack Woodland Realm, but I have to attack Lorien. So I attack Lorien. I basically forego the Witch King. Yeah, but my opponent with this dice, they make this move. They make Old Forest Road into Narrows of the Forest, and they just move out from Bree to South Downs. And yeah, you can clearly see why. I have no dice, no defense. The first die they roll next round, they're just gonna get a free Dol Guldur and threaten a free Moria. Instead of mustering into Woodland Realm, they just make this attack. They just make this, which is yeah, another question. Like, would you have done this? Do you think? I mean, taking a free stronghold is good. And threatening a second one certainly forces me to react to you. Instead of maybe mustering an elite into Woodland Realm. But yeah, like the risk Shadow took when attacking Dale was also this. Like, this Old Forest Road guy is closer to Dol Guldur than Dale army is. So maybe this attack into Dale was a mistake, right? Should attack Old Forest Road, leave Dale alone. Yeah, if you're gonna muster there, sure, go ahead. Because basically now, not only you have to muster into Dale, but you can also muster into Woodland Realm. So like, where are you gonna be mustering first, right? Your muster dice are overextended, right? You can't both muster into the elves and the Dale. So when I attack Old Forest Road, the first action, do you muster into Dale or do you muster into Woodland Realm? Okay, you muster them, let's say, an elite into Dale. I besiege a 1/1/1 Elven Stronghold. You muster another elite, right? You're now a 1/2/1. I attack into Dale from a besieging army, and you do something, and then I'll most likely take it, and then you like move back into Erebor, or you like maybe try to push for Dol Guldur that way, and then yes, you're with the dwarves, and the Erebor is much buffer now. At least I took away your mustering point, right? The alternative would be, yeah, I'm in Old Forest Road, you muster an elite, so it's a 1/2/1, and I besiege that, you muster into Dale, and it's a 1/1/1. 1/1/1, yeah. And then I attack into Dale. So it's like, where are your two musters gonna go? It will both of them go to Dale, or will you separate them 1/1? Because both of them can't definitely go into Woodland Realm now. So I think I should have, like, seeing all this laid out in front of your eyes, it's kind of hindsight 2020, where yeah, you should have attacked Old Forest Road and not let this army unit get into Dol Guldur, because it's a tough thing to balance. Like when free people has a stronghold under siege, they when they capture a free stronghold, their military game unlocks significantly, right? Like they still haven't killed many companions. Yes, corruption's still a little bit high, so they might just completely switch. And they have like other opportune places that they might want to go for, right? If imagine a scenario where I play Corsairs and I just like don't leave anybody behind and like they just walk into Umbar. Like certainly it opens up so many possibilities for free people. I think going after this stronghold is absolutely correct because in alternatively there's no units nearby, there's no mustering point nearby for Shadow to help retake Dol Guldur. The closest one is Moria, but that's still like 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks away, plus like whatever many musters you need. So that would be like that would take around a turn to even like retake Dol Guldur. So the worst case, you're just gaining a one extra turn for the Fellowship to move. So I think this is the absolute correct thing to do, which I unfortunately kind of missed. But at least the only silver lining that I have is that the first action, like, oh wait, I don't even have a silver lining. The first action that I have, that the free people have, will take Gol Guldur, and then I was gonna say I was gonna be able to at least attack into Woodland Realm, and they wouldn't get any musters in there. But that's not the case because I still have to defend Moria. They're gonna double move, threaten Moria. I'll have to muster into Moria. Then they will muster into Woodland Realm. So they still get a muster into Woodland Realm, which is unfortunate for me. So I think attacking Dale was a mistake there at the end of the day. So anyway, they get King's Brands, man. Well, that would have been a top deck had I attacked Old Forest Road, but you know, that's still one muster, right? Like technically, I get Wormtongue, Pits of Mordor. I mean, I would have loved to have that last turn, I guess, but free people attacked as the last action, so I wouldn't have any chance to play it. I kill Wormtongue. They declare outside Moria. Fellowship is good. I allocate 1 eye because I have to. I roll 3 more. And I roll a single muster. Like, it had this not been a muster or Palantir, I mean, that like obviously it's unlikely that you're not gonna roll any in 4 dice, but free people could have just like straight up walked into Moria and there was nothing I could have done, like, which is kind of funny. So they take Dol Guldur, they attack Moria. I have to use my only muster, which I would love to get Witch King with. But I have to just I play Pits of Mordor. I just buff up my strongholds. Yeah, just kind of I didn't get super unlucky. If I got super unlucky, the game would be over right now. So kind of funny. Anyway, my opponent musters. This was quite a surprise for me. Like they mustered down Gondor, and I understand what they're going for. They're clearly going for the military game, and they are 4 moves away from crowning Aragorn. They have a Will of the West, so if they move, separate, and crown Aragorn, like with a ring, they can get Aragorn as well, right? But like, why don't you want to just muster them like once, just once, do it once, because one of the main ways Shadow has to defend against a free people military push is capturing quick strongholds, capturing easy to take strongholds to rank up points such that free people now can't just willy-nilly abandon strongholds, because in case of ties, the ties favor the shadow player, right? If shadow player gets 10 and the free people's at a 4, shadow wins. So the way you ensure that happens is you basically get easy strongholds, And when you do get those strongholds, you just like basically say, hey, free. I know you have these gigantic armies in maybe Minas Tirith or maybe in Dol Amroth or maybe Rivendell, right? Or maybe Erebor. That's like usually Erebor and Minas Tirith are the common ones. Say you have a huge army in Erebor or in a huge army in Minas Tirith. Yes, you might go out and attack me, but if you do, I will get extra 2 points or 4 points, right? And those 4 points, if I'm at 5, basically makes me win the game. So the way you deal with free people military is just spend time into shadow military, funnily enough. So by using this muster to slow me down significantly, I think would have definitely been worth it because there is no rush in mustering Gondor right now. But yeah. So I don't give them a second chance to muster. I just take it. I just attack Woodland Realm, and now at least the strongholds are easy, right? They're still at the beginning. I mean, I would have very much liked to get the hit on the northern unit, but such is life. But like these are the, for example, 5 easy victory points that I'm going for to basically immediately shun the free people military attempt from the get-go. Right? If I have this 5 points, now free people military attempt almost is like cut from the root, like before it even began, right? Like cut it from the nib, I guess is the expression. So it's a no starter immediately. So that's what I'm trying to do here. But they start mustering in Carrick. That's certainly possible. If you're also in a position to retake some of this or fight for some of these points back, then that's also worth it. So, all right, yeah, you can do that. Seeing that I don't have a Witch King, I just wanted to put rerolls on the Fellowship. I wasn't gonna attack into Lorien, and I wasn't gonna attack into Woodland Realm. So, but like now, maybe I should have, because I really don't want them to drop a Celeborn or a Thranduil or Power to Great. All those cards are bad, but like I was like, I'm not gonna be attacking, especially like I didn't really want to attack, because if I just attack, like if I just make an inefficient attack into Woodland Realm, it might cause me to take a bunch more hits, and then like they buff an army in Carrick and they just come kill me. And if the siege falls, then military attempts are back online, and now like I'm in big trouble. Now even like the ring dunk is still on the play, because free people actually just did not separate a bunch of companions. So I just put some rerolls on them, and then I prep Corsairs. That's the benefit of having Corsairs. That's another 2 extra points that I'm going to get to have for free, right? Now I technically have 7. Well, free people doesn't know this. I do, but like I still can like kind of stall a bit. I'm still ahead in the military game. As much as like free people are going for that, I'm still ahead. So they move. Now I'm rolling 6 dice. Okay, this time I catch them. And it's a 2 reveal. That's good. They random into Pippin. And Pippin just ended up finding its way to Gandalf. Kind of funny. They take the 1. They reveal in part Celebrant. Alright, we go next. Now, in this stage, would you... Now, what would you do with this army? Do you keep... Are you gonna keep chasing the Fellowship, maybe with this army? Or do you make an attack? I think I chase them. I basically consolidate Gorgoroth, because I might want to go to Moranon to maybe defend some strongholds. You could also maybe make an argument, make a case for going from South Rune to East Rune. That's always helpful. This army is good where it is, and I don't have any other army that I want to move. Maybe you can move into Mount Gundabad to Eagle's Eyrie to make an attack into Carrick. That's certainly a possibility. Maybe that would have been an interesting attack. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, but like if I just like leave everybody to attack Carrick, then this North Downs unit can come threaten it. So it's like it's like the Mount Gondabad army is a little precarious. So tough to know. But I put some rerolls on them. See what happens. Fellowship hides. All right, makes sense. It sucks to use a will when Strider's guide to hide, but what else would you actually do? Maybe keep mustering Carrick. Like do something. Maybe you fully move out. Like that would be crazy. But move out Rivendell. Meet up in Holland and try to take this. Like it's certainly like possible. Like before Shadow can win all these strongholds, if you maybe make a push for a military attempt, because I'm certainly not threatening to retake Dol Guldur anytime soon. So if you muster an elite into Rivendell and next turn try to take it, that's also maybe an interesting plan. So turn 5, I draw Shadow Lengthens and Candles of Corpses. What do you get rid of here? Tough hand. I thought about getting rid of Candles, but surprisingly, Corruption's kind of like a good strategy for me right now, right? If I get a Candles 3 and get an Isildur, there would be an 11. Like, certainly possible. I think I get rid of Mustering of the Long Planned War. And I'm not sure if that's correct, because that's certainly a really good way to defend Mordor. And knowing that Free People is trying to go for a military attempt, maybe I should keep this. Maybe I don't need Shadow Lengthens and Shadow Gathers. So maybe get rid of one of them. It's a very interesting choice. Like, what would you get rid of? Probably Candles would be the end up correct option here. But yeah, I genuinely didn't know. I got rid of Mustering of the Long Planned War. Oh, my opponent also draws Book of Mazarbul. Holy. Unfortunately, they don't have any companions around. Horn of Gondor for Fellowship. Like, sure, I guess. Fine. They kill Eagles Are Coming and Grey Company. Okay, fine. Yeah. I kill Monster. Okay. Allocate one eye. Roll one more. Alright. Yeah, this time I really was like, okay, even if I don't roll any more eyes, I'm fine. I just need to like speed up militarily. They get a decent roll. They start by moving. I'm not really sure why, because I already have the rerolls on you. But I guess you know you want to move, so you move. They're safe. All right, fair. I get the Witch King in Woodland Realm. I want to start being done with these sieges before I hit those character cards. I play, yeah, okay, I remember. I play Grond because, again, I want to be done with the siege, and it's like fairly likely with 3 rounds of free combat I can take it. Actually, let's see the odds of that happening. Let's just open up my battle calculator real quick. So it is an 8-1-4 against a 2-1-2. Now no captains. I have 3 presses, and if I don't play any cards, I have a 94% chance to win the siege. And basically an 80% chance that I will have 4 or more HP, 4 or more hit points, which is good. If I play a card, I don't know what, I can't play Mumakil, I can't play the other Mumakil. Do I play Dread and Despair? Like, probably not, because I really need the leadership. I don't want to play the Corsairs. Obviously, if I play We Come to Kill, maybe that like does something. Yeah, increases it like by 1%. So what are you gonna do? So I'm very likely to win the siege. I try playing Mumakil, but I can't because there's no elephant. There's no Oliphants in the battle, so I can't. But my opponent allows me to replay another card, and I go ahead and play Hill Trolls, even though I really didn't want to play it. I think Hill Trolls would have been an excellent card to buff up Wooden Realm to maybe go attack Erebor, right? But I really, at the same time, I really want to cycle strategy cards. So that's maybe another reason why I should have kept Mustering of the Long Planned War. Because I would love to play a Desperate Battle here, and this Dread and Despair is still like really not doing anything. But I play We Come to Kill. I get 2 hits. My opponent. Yeah, okay. My opponent gets 2 back. Okay, that's a good start. I don't have to press. I post a combat. I roll 1 extra hit, so now I just need a single 6 in 2 rounds. So I no card. I get my 6. They get a hit back. So okay, you know. And this situation where I have 7 hit points is 35%. Around 30%, let's just say. So I certainly got a little lucky. You would expect to have another round of combat probably, but it's fine. It's not crazy. So, all right, 1 stronghold down. My opponent's side keeps mustering in Carrick. They want to maybe potentially retake Dale, right? And now I move Nazgul, prep to attack Lorien, because I also want to get that done before there's any chance of card shenanigans happening. I move Sothrons towards war. They pass. I will attack Lorien and play. I think I should play the situation here is that I want to keep cycling cards, even though New Powers Rising is a really powerful card to take Rohan. But I want to cycle cards, so I play it, and it's like they have 3 units. I have 8. They need to deal like 3 damage to me. Kill the elite, kill 1 regular to be 6. They need to deal, yeah, even if they deal 3 damage to me, I still get a Great Host. So this is a guaranteed Great Host. Unless they like play no quarter. They daylight, fine. I get no hits. They get 2. But obviously I have the Great Host. I stop and draw Half-Orcs and Goblin Man. Which is good, but like it's not the card I want to cycle into, technically. And here my opponent surprises me and separates Strider into Minas Tirith. Which clearly signifies that they're going for a military victory. But I'm happy to see that they just like dealt 3 corruption damage to themselves. I do have candles, like maybe this end up working out, but like now I'm actually very scared of a potential Mordor rush when I don't even have this Dol Guldur recaptured. Because yes, I will be at 5 victory points and 7 if you count Dol Amroth. I still need to be able to take Minas Tirith and maybe take Pelargir to hold on to those points to be able to just win. So it's certainly nerve-wracking. And they might not even roll a will next round, so we'll see. I attack Lorien. I play We Come to Kill. I want to cycle cards. I at least dodge an advantageous position. I get 2 hits. They get 1 back. Post does nothing, so fair. And this time I press because, yeah, I don't want to get hit with a card, basically. And there's no reason to, like, keep an army there. I draw into a desperate battle. That cycle was excellent. I just immediately played. They played. They pulled a shield wall, but I get 3 hits, so I take the siege. So I'm at 5, which is really nice. Which is really nice. They pass using the token. We go to turn 6. So they draw Spirit of Mordor. That would have been good before on Lorien, probably. I draw Foul Thing on Stormcrow. Fellowship declares an Eastern Net, and allocate an eye. Have to enroll this ridiculous ridiculous amount of Palantirs. I do have stuff I want to play, right? I want to play Corsairs. I want to play Foul, maybe Candles. That's why I've been keeping it. Potentially, the fact that they separated Aragorn makes the Foul Thing much less good, much worse. I can play Stormcrow, technically. Strider's in Minas Tirith, so I can move Gondor back and kill a leader, probably, in the process. And basically waste a die, but it's interesting. And I get this roll, which is like, okay, really good. Yeah. So at this point, they move the Fellowship. They don't want any more rerolls on them, so fair. I miss them. And here, I was thinking about playing Stormcrow, because certainly they're going for a military game, and if I can trade one of these musters for one of these Palantirs, that's like perfectly fine trade for me. Plus, I get to deal 1 damage. So I feel like playing the Stormcrow would have been good. At the same time, the Stormcrow is my only playable combat card, but I don't have any more combats. Plus, it would have been it's a really good combat effect in Dol Amroth. So I really didn't want to play it. I was like really unsure about playing this Stormcrow at this stage. Like, would you have played it? Do you think this would have been a good play, not so good play? Who cares? Or is it a better combat? Like, it's basically a guaranteed hit in Dol Amroth, right? So I wanted to keep it. I basically muster Southern Eastlings toward. They crown Aragorn, pretty standard. And what do you do in this with the other dice, right? My opponent is clearly gonna muster, like, maybe in Carrick, right? Maybe I don't want to take away that Gondor thing, and then like just because if I attack, also they also put them to war. So it's a bit of a question. Like, me, what do you do? Do you draw? I didn't want to overdraw. See what happens. I was uncertain because if I play also Stormcrow, these 2 masters might just go to Carrick. The north, there are still Northmen there. Certainly they can get really rowdy with a couple musters. So I really didn't know what I want to play. If I play Candles, they might just completely abandon the Fellowship and go full military, which I also don't want, because I think Fellowship has better chance, like militarily, maybe if they committed fully. Even though I found myself to be at 5 points and I'll be at 7, so it's tough. So what I ended up doing, I'll just play Foul Thing, because no matter which of these companions I get, it's gonna be good, because it's the Captain of the West. I'm likely to deal, like, if it's any of these ones, like, I'll just do an extra damage. These zeros are fine, like, at least I get to reveal them, etc., etc. But I draw an eye. I draw an eye. You know, it's a little unlucky, sure. It was a 2 out of 12. It was a 2 out of 12, yeah. Whatever. It's the most worrying thing to happen. And we just kind of joke about that. Anyway, my opponent musters Gondor to war, and obviously seeing this, I just play Corsairs, don't let them muster in Dol Amroth. I leave 1 behind because, you know, they're very much militarily active. So they immediately muster in a leader in Carrick and a regular in where do they muster? Northern Gondor leader in Minas Tirith. So that's surprising. I wonder if you should have waited for this muster. You don't have any playable cards, unfortunately. It's kind of funny. You can maybe even play Spirit of Mordor on this army, and if you get 5 hits, you kill the Witch King. That's kind of crazy. Um, that's an interesting thought. Like, if this army was like a little lower, the Spirit of Mordor would have definitely been a threat to this Witch King. Kind of funny. Anyway, um, yeah. So I'm not really sure what you're planning to do with this Palantir. Maybe draw a card. Maybe play Mithril. I don't know. Tough to know. But like, what do I do with these Palantirs is another question, right? So I think I draw a character card here. I really would want to find a Ring Wraiths or a Broad or a Black Captain. What else? A Nazgul Search, Nazgul Strike. I really want to find those Nazgul moving cards to not only move them here, but also put them on the Fellowship. Yeah, I'm thinking about other character cards. Maybe I draw Isildur. That's also fine. Balrog is a little too late. Dreadful Spells maybe is useful. But there's also no other strategy cards that I can technically really want, right? Like, I still have 2 Deadly Strives. But like, at least this siege I can play Muma Kills. So I just draw a character card, see what I get, and I get a Nazgul Strike, which is excellent. They pass, I just immediately drop the Nazgul Strike, put 1 in Fellowship. I kill the Horn of Gondor. I think that makes sense. I have 1 dice, I would be rolling 4 5s. It's a basically this is a guaranteed 1 corruption damage dealt. And if I get like a hit, then you deal a little bit more, maybe. Just felt like the correct thing to do. My opponent passes, I attack DA, I don't want to again get hit with Imrahil or Círdan. I play a strategy card, and it's certainly the Great Host. They play a strategy card. My opponent, I get no hits. My opponent gets 2, plus the no quarter is 3 hits. I mean, it still triggers the Great Host. I press, get Onslaught, perfect. And I think I play Shadow Lengthens here, just get that done. Maybe I should like just not normally press this, like play no card, and if I have to press again. But yeah, I get the hits. So maybe I should, but like, I can't play a Mumakil if I press again. So if I'm gonna play Mumakil, this is the moment. So I think this is correct. So I get 3 hits, and it's GG for DA. So now I'm at 7, and I'm like, okay, military attempt is certainly not possible at this stage. My opponent pass. I start mustering an Orthanc, because what other great place do I have? It's Helm's Deep. It's clearly Helm's Deep, and if I force your army movements to go towards defending Helm's Deep, that still slows down Aragorn. That gives me maybe Pelargir. That gives me time to maybe do something else, or go for Erebor with this army. Like, this is certainly the most precarious position the Shadow has been in. They basically have all their easy points. Now the question becomes, can they reach 10? And it's really difficult before maybe 3 people gets to 4. And right, like, as Shadow, what's your next move, right? My next move, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna force you to defend Helm's Deep. If you don't, I'll just take it. If you do, I'll just like retrieve Dol Guldur and basically go like bring you down and like kind of kill your 3 people military attempt. I do have a bunch of corruption damage dealt to you. I do have candles, so like, even if this is a corruption game, this is certainly gonna be favoring me, the Shadow player. So Three people. My opponent draws a strategy card. Okay. I wonder what you're looking for. Maybe Dead Man. But Dead Man's a character card. Maybe like Aomer. Maybe Scouts. You have Scouts. I don't know what you're looking for here. I think I would draw a character card, especially with all the companions out and about. You have mighty attacks, Athlas. Like for military stuff, you also have very useful things in the character deck. Strategy deck is usually a little bit more defensive. Like it allows you to muster in a bunch of places. And any other like defensible places like Imrahil, Círdan, Power Trigate, Celeborn, Thranduil, King Brandsman, all of them are like moot at this point. Maybe the best thing you can draw defensively is Dane. But yeah, certainly tough choice, like which kind of card you draw here. And my last Palantir, I think I also draw a strategy because I do want to still keep pushing the military game as much as I can. So certainly that makes sense. I still could have drawn a character to find those Palantir attacks, but again, if I can get an easy Helm's Deep, that's what I'm going to go for it. Turn 7, my opponent draws Axe and Bow and Wisdom of Elrond. Okay. I draw Ring is Mine and Return to Valor, the second Deadly Strife, which is excellent. They declare Investor Nemin Muil. Sure, they're 3 away from both fellowships. They moved, so I allocate an eye, roll 1 more, get a decent roll. My opponent gets a nice roll, right? They have many attacks, many musters. They're very flexible. They start by moving out Aragorn, like as their first action. And they move to Old Forest Road. So at the beginning of this turn, I was thinking to myself, I need 3 victory points, and the way I can get them is attack into forts, attack into Helm's Deep, win Helm's Deep. That's 3 attacks, 4 to Lamadon, 5 to Pelargir, 10. I do have 5 attacks. In fact, I have exactly 5 attacks. Right, so that was one way I was looking out to win. But like, seeing this move, now that plan is a bit more dangerous because this army can certainly retake Dale. And then I would be 1 shy of winning. So I have to formulate a plan right now, right here, right now, to be able to both defend, because my opponent is also threatening to go to Umbar and take it. With just like 1, 2, 3 attacks, just take it. And they can certainly like win it, right? It's very interesting. So what do you do as Shadow? What do you do as Shadow? So what I do, I like leave forts for a while because they also don't have any army movements, unfortunately, for them, so that they can't really bring in this Westernet army. But what I also can do is go to Lamadon, attack Pelargir, Lossernach 3, 4 Minas Tirith, 5 taking Minas Tirith, and now I'm at 10. Which still is not completely winnable because they can just retake Dale. So I'm in a very precarious position, but like in both of those cases, I kind of tank a little bit here and just go to Lamadon, just leave 1 unit in Dol Amroth because I really don't want them to separate Strider into Vestimnet or something and play Dead Menadon Harrow into Erech and then just like walk into a free Dol Amroth, because if they manage to retake Dol Amroth, that would just be GG for me. So I'm really playing it a little safe. But if they like, I guess doing this move, and if they have Dead Menadon Harrow here, they can still separate, and if I attack into Pelargir, they can play into Pelargir Deadman anyways. So that's certainly like still possible. right? They can still separate, but at least if I see dead man coming, I can just maybe dip back into Dol Amroth, right? Maybe. And I go to Western Brownlands. And my plan was here, if I need to, if this Aragorn army just pushes out to Umbar, I take Pelargir, and I basically Shadows Gather from Lorien into Western Brownlands and retake Dol Guldur. Because if I retake Dol Guldur, then it doesn't matter to me that you have Umbar. It really can't like afford to give up Minas Tirith or do anything. So I'm like still trying to like test the waters here. My opponent immediately moves to Pelargir, and I'm like, okay, they have gone to Pelargir, they defended Pelargir, so I can never get to 10 victory points. I can certainly try threatening maybe Minas Tirith from this army in Minas Morgul, but I just don't have that much movement. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to retake Dol Guldur, but I genuinely don't have like I just have a regular one attack, and all of them are leader attacks. So I have to move leadership first, and I put one leadership in Woodland Realm. I don't know why. I thought they might attack. This leadership should really be with Western Brownlands, technically. Maybe like everyone, almost the Witch King should be here, and like maybe one leadership should be in Minas Morgul to maybe potentially threaten Minas Tirith. Oh well. My opponent passes. I play Shadows Gather, leave one bet behind. So now this army can certainly take this army with 3 attacks, like with 2 attacks actually. But yeah, now with this move, my opponent just like, okay, I'm gonna defend. Instead of attacking Dale, they just like, okay, I'm gonna defend Dol Guldur, which certainly makes sense. But now that they use this C, they cannot take Umbar. They need 3 attacks to take Umbar. They have 2 only with the ring. So at this point, I'm kind of relieved. But like this ensures, like if they get to Dol Guldur with this army, I can't take it, and this Aragorn army can take Umbar like next turn. So this is a very dangerous spot for me. So my best option, best opportunity to win here is just attack force. Like if you're gonna defend Dol Guldur, then I'm going to take a free Helm's Deep, and I'm going to be at 9. And then if you leave Pelargir open to go to Umbar, then I can take to take Pelargir. So attack forward, I no card it. I don't want to get hit with a scout into a Deadly Strife or something. I get 2 hits, which is excellent. Which is certainly lucky. They get 1 hit back. And I just move everyone out. They cannot get this army unless they use a ring. And even if they use a ring, it might be dangerous. So in this point, I basically say, hey, you can kill Saruman if you want to. But if you do kill Saruman, and they do have an Ent, from the first round of the game, they have this Ent, and they have a dice to play it, they will have to use a ring or use this character dice. And if they use the character dice, right, then either they would have to defend the Helm's Deep with a ring, or like defend Dol Guldur with a ring. So because they have a single playable, so this character dice is super overextended. They want to defend Dol Guldur, they want to kill Saruman, they want to move these guys into here, into Helm's Deep. I think what my opponent does, they draw a card and throw the turn order and draw into scouts. But I think certainly at this point in the game, you should use a ring to turn one of these monsters into an army, into a hybrid dice, to move into Dol Guldur and move into Westamnet. Like that certainly gives me a ring, but it's a 2-1-0, and then like I besiege it. You'll probably play the Ents kill Saruman. Maybe put axe and bow. Who cares? You may not even put that actually because you would want the hit on Umbar, but oh well. You basically need to defend Helm's Deep because if Helm's Deep falls, you can't leave Pelargir. Right? So I feel like you have to defend Helm's Deep here, and you just don't. And they kill a Mithril Coat, which is sad, but I guess Fellowship is not getting into Mordor anytime soon. Yeah, like maybe you'd want to like separate some companions, but like they can't even reach anywhere, right? Separate into Western Net and go into there, so it's like tough. Yeah, so with this opportunity, I just besiege Helm's Deep. Now you're not even in like that. That's basically 2 free points for me. And I use a character dice because if they kill Saruman, I still can attack. So what they do, they put one more elite into Pelargir. They're buffing up Pelargir. I think here make a little bit of a mistake. I should just take Helm's Deep when I have the chance and not worry about this attack. Free people will have the last action, like no matter what, because they play the. I think the playing the token there was a bit early. I would have definitely defended my places, my weak places, then use the character dice to do something. But like throwing the turn order obviously makes sense because you want to have the last action. Maybe you want to kill Saruman. Who knows? Right? If Shadow doesn't get to him, right? You may even want to move out because like if Shadow basically fights a 2-1-0 against a 3-2-0 and they fail, you might be able to get Umbar. So that's like that would be also very interesting. Right? Shadow also had like what, 3 attacks, 2 attacks. You would give them a 3rd attack. It would be really, really close on what to do. Like, do you go to Wester Horondor and go on top of Helm's Deep? You're threatening Umbar. You're not actually threatening Umbar in that case, but you can certainly defend here, defend Helm's Deep. Then I need to attack. If the siege fails, you basically start going to Wester Horondor at the end. Like, yeah, you can't really, you can't really leave Pelargir because then I would be at 10. But certainly, like, maybe you go to, like, maybe this movement was a little, I genuinely don't know. This is tough. Had you maybe threatening to retake Dale and take away 1 point, maybe you could then leave Pelargir, right? The reason you need to defend Pelargir is because I would exactly have 10. If you manage to retake this, right, it would certainly be a little different. But yeah, I besiege Dol Guldur, and I really should just take Helm's Deep, just not because that's essentially what I'm trying to do. I don't really have to retake this, and yeah, like if I just like take Helm's Deep with this character dice, you defend Dol Guldur. You're not winning, clearly, and I have an entire next turn to just take Edoras, for example, or try to take Pelargir, which is certainly possible, or maybe even like take Minas Tirith from this army in Minas Morgul, which would take 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks, right? So I can certainly find an extra point next round if you choose to defend. So this attack is just wrong. I'm just basically sending these 4 units into kind of their death. They don't have... the Shadow had Help Unlooked For at some point, and they killed it. I wonder what happened to it. Oh, they played it in Dol Amroth, right? Yeah. So, I mean, they still are rolling only 3 combat dice with 1 reroll. I'm still rolling more dice than them. They do have a lot of hit points. So when they make this attack, and they play a card, I think they would probably play Thranduil here. I do have Dread and Despair. I think that's what I play. Oh, they play Confusion. Okay, so let's just check the math. What the math says real quick. 1 second. All right, we're back. I was gonna simulate the fight in Dol Guldur. So Shadow, it's a quite an interesting fight because they have 6 hit points. I have 4, but I'm like rolling more dice than them. It's quite interesting what the simulator will say about this fight. And I play Dread and Despair fully expecting them to just play a Valor or something, or maybe Charge. Like they have Valor, but yeah, Confusion, maybe not so much. This is a field battle. Yeah, they win this fight 60% of the time. Nope, 75% of the time. If you add some cards like Dread, Despair, and Confusion, they win 84% of the time, 80%. And then if they, assuming that they also have a Valor next round, and I generally don't have any playable cards. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. So they are using a Confusion, followed by a Valor, and they're hitting my Dread and Despair. Field fight, no captains at 0-3-1 versus a 4-0-1. Yeah, they win 88% of the time, 90-ish, 88%. So they certainly are favored to win this. Like only 10% of the time I win. Ties favor them. So yeah, I would say, yeah, 10% for Shadow to hold this, which is certainly low odds. So that's why I think this attack was a mistake by me. I should just take Helm's Deep and not like care about this. Care about what the fate of Dol Guldur. I forfeit 1. I get 2 hits. They get 1 hit. All right. Here I was a bit surprised because they just kill a full elite. Would you rather not just reduce 2 elites? You certainly have, like, yeah, you might pull. I mean, you do have 1 unit here. You want regular there. I mean, you certainly can afford to like pull some units from the reinforcements. I mean, you would not want to technically, but like just reduce 2 units, right? Like, why are you just taking an elite? I think that's a mistake. And because that happens, and I don't roll a 1, by the way. So like if I rerun the calculations, not you had a 10%. I had a 10% chance to hold, but now, if you just assume that this is going to be the second round, now suddenly my chances of winning are 25%. Yeah, 27-ish percent. Yeah. Certainly much better. If instead you had a 2-1, if you just reduced both elites, yeah, my chances of winning is just 15. You gave me an extra 5% chance. No, sorry, you gave me an extra 10% chance to win by taking casualties in this way. That combat, that first round of combat, was like, I think pretty expected, but it was like, I guess it was a little lucky for me because you don't expect two hits, but you expect one hit. So I guess it gave me a 5% additional chance. But like because the way you took your casualties now, it's like instead of 15%, I have a chance 27%. They press. They don't play any card, by the way. And if you don't play any card, with this situation, now I have a 35% chance to hold. I don't know why you didn't want to play Valor here. You get 2 5s, which is like good. Like Valor wouldn't have done anything. I get 3 back like that. I get basically the yeah. That is certainly lucky for me to get 3 hits. I would expect 1 hit. Yeah, 3 is a bit too much. I mean, you would also expect 1 hit, so getting 2 for you is also like on the luckier side. But for me, getting 3 is obviously the luckiest thing I could get. And we just acknowledge the insanity of the rolls, especially my roll. Now it's a 1-1, so at this point you can't even play Valor. And no card, and it's at 30%. It's just I have a it's because the ties work for you. I have a 30% chance to hold, and everything else you just like free that. So I have a 1/3. I stay. They roll. They don't get a hit. I roll. I get 1 hit on the reroll. Yeah, certainly lucky for me. Lucky combat. I personally think it didn't matter, like in the grand scheme of things. My plan is to get Helm's Deep and Adoras, right? Or Helm's Deep and Pelargir anyway. Certainly, I don't think this mattered. But obviously, if you just like keep bunch of HP and kill them, you might maybe like try retaking Lorien or something. Like the game could have looked a lot different. Plus, I think I forgot to mention before, Orthang is also completely open. I just like didn't leave anybody behind because I wanted to take Helm's Deep. So yeah, that's a bit weird, right? If I attack into Helm's Deep, I put Rohan to war, and then they can just walk into Fords and into Orthanc. So even if I retake Dol Guldur, they can just take Orthanc and be totally fine. So there's really no point of me trying to retake this siege. I mean, my opponent got super unlucky, and just basically like this Carrack army received 4 musters, like 3.5 musters, and just all of it just disappeared. Certainly unlucky. And I play Orcs Multiplying again. This is why I was like staying from the start, because I wanted to recruit with Orcs. So I can now certainly retake Dol Guldur. But like because I left Orthanc open, this whole sequence that happened around Dol Guldur just doesn't matter. But yeah, with the final musters, they muster down Rohan to war. Alright. They get Athelas and Daylight, certainly can help, maybe. I get Day Without Dawn, Lidless Eye, okay. They kill a scout. I don't know if that's smart. Like, you certainly might scout into Edoras. I mean, you do have another scout. So maybe I allocate 0 eyes, roll 1 eye, and just, like, get enough. I would want some musters here, by the way, to not only defend Orthanc, but also just maybe move armies towards Westernet and try taking Edoras a little bit better. My opponent gets, like, 2 musters, 2 rolls, and 2 Palantirs. They see the open Orthanc and they move towards it, and they're going for Umbar. And I think at this point they were just like maybe done with the game. Like I don't think this move makes any sense if you're actually trying to defend, because like I'm gonna get Helm's Deep and I'm gonna just like take Edoras, and that's gonna be GG. You should probably pass or muster an East-West net to basically force me to attack. Right, that's one option. Or you play an Ants, kill Saruman, and just take away my leadership to maybe like make me do an inefficient attack. Then you can maybe muster into Western nets and try to defend Edoras. Certainly, and then like still go for this Pelargi or whatever. Like certainly, this is not what you would do, but oh well. So attack Helm's Deep. I just play Deadly Strife. No reason to like waste anything. I get a hit, they get a hit, fair. They use a ring, they capture Orthanc, they move back to Estimnet. Okay. I guess they're assuming that I'll retake Dol Guldur, but like my plan is not that at all. I will just be taking Edoras. I attack Vestimnet, no card. They play a Scouts, which is smart. I move everyone. They muster in Edoras. And yeah, there's a couple ways I can just win win immediately. I can just move all leadership here. I can move. Yeah, like, they don't have any movement. They have a character, so if I move all my Nazgul, they might bring the Hobbit and Gandalf into here. Certainly possible. But if they do that, they can't retake Umbar. So I certainly can win like 1,000 different ways. I can even attack into Pelargir and just take it. But I just end up attacking Edoras. Yeah, even if they retreat, they can't attack it back. So they're rolling 2 dice, and the chance of success of this attack is this is a little harder for my simulator to calculate because Warg leadership is not properly accounted for. But yeah, it's a 95% chance that I win with both sides not playing any cards. And if I'm gonna play a card, it's gonna be like a Deadly Strife on the second round of combat, or maybe the first round even. Would you play Deadly Strife first round or second round? Probably first round, so right? So you don't like, you basically maximize the amount of hits you do first round, and then like, which minimizes the amount of hits you take next round, because they can at most do 2 damage to me. Probably should just play it. I know card, they play a card, they play Valor. Yeah, and because of this, probably should just like Deadly Strife. Had I Deadly Strife, yeah, that would have been just 3 hits. I get 1. They get 0. The Deadly Strife would have allowed them to get 2 hits, right? Interesting. Anyway. Let's see if Deadly Strife actually increases my chances or lowers my chances. Deadly Strife. No, it totally increases. And against Valor, does that do anything? Nope. Yeah, playing Deadly Strife certainly increases my odds of winning, so probably should just play. They take 1 hit. Down next turn, I Deadly Strife. Accidentally hit F2. They play a character card. I play Deadly Strife. Yeah, I guess you play the Ents to try to make me only hit 2. I get 2 hits. They get 1. A little unfortunate. And I press. I have no cards. They... Yeah, I mean, I could play Day without Dawn, but like, I don't need to. They get a hit, I get a hit, and it's yeah, it's GG. You just move 1 in. I was like thinking about in case they like move to fours, play Riders of Theod and attack. They just don't even have enough dice to be able to do that. So, um, yeah, my opponent is recognizes they're in a tough spot. They attack Umbar, and I think they're just like okay. And I try to like retake Dol Guldur. I think at this point, there's no place that they can retake. Genuinely, no points that they can retake. So they're just going for more points, military points. Uh, which is yeah. I mean, it's GG. It's just like we're just going, and then like they take Umbar, and I attack Dol Guldur slowly. Yeah, I attack. I play Great Host. So yeah, I attack Polar Gear. I certainly can take it. I just like stop. No reason to like extend the game. We say GG. Yeah, this was a very close military attempt by Shadow. Sorry, by Free People, especially because they had a very easy Dol Guldur. Because I think, like looking back, I think I made a mistake attacking Dale. I should have attacked Old Forest Road, and not let them just walk into Dol Guldur. Maybe if they were not showing any army movements, then you could have attacked into Dale. But yeah, like forcing their musters in however they want would basically just okay. Like you don't get any military attempts, but yeah, like this ended up wasting more of my time than maybe attacking. Like maybe having an extra round in Woodland Realm, right? So but like the alternative is that they might not have like crowned Aragorn. They might have pushed the Fellowship. It would have been certainly close, like as far as corruption goes. I did have candles. I did spend some time like trying to catch the Fellowship, so it would have been close either way. Maybe it was a mistake to leave Orthanc open fully, but at the point, like, yeah, I didn't really care if Saruman died or if Orthanc was captured because I was like trying to push to 10 and did not really care whether Free People got to 4 or 6. So, but for the final spot, let's look at the statistics. Yeah, so these are not clearly swapped. Yeah, Free People is definitely down on movement and wills. They did Gandalf. They did get Gandalf fairly early. So, and they did crown Aragorn the first opportunity they got after separating him. So, like, a little like on the unluckier side for sure. For me, I don't have many attacks. I'm -4 on attacks, -3 on musters. So I rolled more eyes and more palantirs than I would have wanted. So be it. Shadow combat, I'm -6 on sixes. I did play bunch of cards, right? I did play Grond. I did play We Come to Kills. Desperate Battle against the Shield Wall in Lorien. I had Corsairs, Great Host. Yeah, I was certainly down on the sixes. But I feel like the Corsairs and the rest of the cards made up for that unluckiness because Free People didn't also have any relevant cards, right? They didn't draw anything. No Power to Great, no Imrahil, any of those. Like, none of those show up. So these -6s didn't really end up mattering that much. Plus, I'm like +9 on fives. If you consider that you also play some cards, right? Some of these fives were definitely hits, and I had a huge field battle in Dol Guldur. So, and Free People is very much balanced on the combat rolls. So yeah, this was a very interesting game. This was a really fun game. Again, once again, thank you for my opponent for the game, and yeah, I'm looking forward to playing them again. And with this win, now I'm at 11 wins against 8 losses. I still have 5 games to play for the league. I think my win rate, even if I win all 5 of my games, that would be like 16 wins to 8 losses, which would give me like what, 66% chance or 67 win rate, like basically 2/3. I think that would be enough to promote, maybe. Not sure. But certainly it's another thing to just win all your games, win all 5 of your games on demand. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm still going to play them and we'll cover them here. So thank you for watching. I hope this game was entertaining and instructive, as always. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. So take care. Bye bye. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.